Today is gonna be episode 4 of editing your photos. Now, in this video series, I'm gonna edit your photos, so I asked my mailing list to send me a photo so that I can just give my creative spin to it in Affinity Photo, and well, you guys did. So let's jump straight to it and let's see what we can create today. Now, today's submitted photo is from Brian Stewart, or Truza on Twitter and Instagram, and he says, "Here's a photo I took last month, spliced from 3 photos which I think came out really nice. Now let's turn it into some pseudo-apocalyptic scene with a large mothership descending in the far valley and possibly a western town under siege from falling debris and or alien drones." Well, Brian, I think you really wanted to challenge me, so challenge accepted, and let's see what we can create. So for this edit, I started off by masking out the background, or the sky so to say, just because I wanted to make a more dramatic sky. And the sky that I wanted, I actually found it right in the stock panel in Affinity Photo. I thought it was pretty green, so I decided to color grade it just a little bit so that it matched more with the foreground. Now then I decided to use my smoke brushes in order to create some fog or haze, basically to hide the horizon to make it easier for me to continue my edit. Now then it was time to find our object, which became this mothership as Brian asked me, and I found this mothership on IAMRENSI.com. This is an amazing platform with millions of assets, including photos, 3D assets, and so on. This is actually a 3D asset, so if you're interested in a subscription in Envato, just check out the link down below. Now then I decided to color grade everything a little bit more using a color check layer to kind of blend all the objects and elements together. Now, in the original photo that Brian sent me, there was a bright sun or a bright light source, let's say, at the horizon, so I decided to actually add it in back once I had my clouds and my foreground, etc. in place, and this I actually did using a lens flare from the IAMRENSI light brush pack. Now, because I added this light source on the horizon, I decided to brighten up the bottom of the spaceship a little bit. And at the end, you will actually see that I flipped around the whole spaceship just because I thought the perspective would look way better if it's flipped around, but I will do this off camera at the very end. I spent lots and lots of time trying to blend this mothership better in the clouds and in the scene, let's say. It was pretty tricky, but after long trying and just using different blend options, blend modes, adjustment layers, etc. Yeah, I kind of figured out a way to make it blend better. Now, of course, in Brian's imagination, there was actually a western town that was under siege, so I went back to Envato Elements and found this western town right here. And I decided to position this right below our mothership. And I actually used the pen tool in the end to cut out each and every house to have the most flexibility, let's say, when positioning and when color grading these little houses. So once I got all of them out, it was time to position them and time to blend them in better with the background. Well, this was kind of tricky and I didn't do the perfect job, but I think in the end it just worked out pretty fine. Now, because I decided to add the sun onto the horizon, obviously we're gonna need some extra shadows, and I didn't really want to spend lots of time to create super realistic shadows, so I basically just painted them in using a very soft round brush and used some simple blending techniques to kind of make it look realistic. Then I tried to find some debris or something that I could put in the sky on Envato Elements, but later I decided to actually use my particle brushes, which are also available in the Ultimate Brush Bundle, and this just to make it look like there's things flying around in the sky. To experiment a little bit with the background, I decided to add another mothership in the background, but in the end I removed it, and then I decided also to add some lightning in the sky just to make it look more dramatic. I thought the sky looked pretty empty still, so I found these floating square rocks or whatever they may be, and I thought they might look really interesting in this scene because yeah, it is some spaceship, some flying things around, so why not add some square fantasy rocks in the sky as well. Suddenly I figured the tips of the mountains, let's say, looked pretty dark and pretty black, so I decided to brighten them up a little bit using a levels adjustment layer. It didn't work out super well, but it was just a little improvement into the overall image. Now, to add some depth to the scene, I decided to use my tree brushes in order to create some trees or bushes, let's say, in the foreground. I could actually make them very dark, and I blurred them to actually make it look like they are in the foreground. And finally, I decided to make the sky more cyan because we had a nice orange, let's say, horizon. So I thought this would be a very nice contrast. So the cold blues in the sky and the bright warm colors at the horizon. Now, at some point I just turned off the screen recording, but in the end I decided to work a bit longer on it. And as you will see very soon, you will see that I actually flipped around the whole ship and just made some nice tweaks to the overall image that, in my opinion, in the end worked out very well. So, are you ready for it? Let me show you the end result in 3, 2, 1. Honestly, I think this one turned out super good. I've never made a photo manipulation like it. So Brian, thank you so much for giving me your idea and your photo to work with. Now, if you're interested in the brushes that I used in this photo manipulation, then make sure to check out the Ultimate Brush Bundle. Currently, I'm running a huge Black Friday sale, so you want to check out the link down below. And if you want to get a chance of me editing your photo, then make sure to send it to edit@IAMRENSI.com and make sure to include your name, a short story, and optionally your social media handle so I can give you a shout out. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one. Cheers.